Welcome, wanderers, to Wanderlust Stories, a place where the world's most fascinating tales come alive. My name is Wanderlust, and this is the story of how John and I met, and how something almost beautiful became almost terrifying. It begins long before the wedding, on a hill overlooking our high school, in the soft gold of early autumn sun. We were 13. I remember that hill perfectly, tall grass swaying in lazy rhythm, the distant hum of school bells mixing with the chatter of classmates. I was there sketching clouds in a notebook, and John appeared at the crest, silhouetted by the sun. His smile was shy, his presence calm like a gentle breeze. We spoke, half laughing, half nervous. Two awkward teenagers forging something tender and new, our first love. Year after year we grew up together. Every milestone, prom, vacations, graduations, felt sweeter because it was shared. Then came the birthday trip that would change something in us forever. A Costa Rican resort perched on a cliff over the Pacific, where lush jungle tumbled into the tide. We arrived at dusk, the sky smeared with magenta and tangerine. The resort stretched along that cliff edge. Elegant villas painted soft cream, each with sliding glass doors, opening onto wooden decks that overlooked tropical foliage and a waterfall far below crashing into the sea. Lanterns flared to life among hibiscus trees, casting golden halos in the humid air. The scent of night-blooming jasmine drifted on the breeze. We felt like the only guests, though I suspect even then, something had cleared the place out. Staff moved silently, eyes gentle but blank, always present but never present. They carried trays of passion fruit cocktails and behaved almost rehearsed in their kindness. I sipped mine, sweet and floral, but after a few moments it left a waxy aftertaste. I glanced at John. He shrugged, lifting his drink. As night deepened, the jungle suddenly felt too quiet. No frogs, no cicadas, just an oppressive stillness that pressed in on us from every side. That evening, John led me to a secluded path by the cliff, where a private dinner was set beneath a canopy of fairy lights and orchids. Candle flames danced on a table laid with white linens and silverware polished to a mirror's sheen. A soft violin melody floated from hidden speakers, twining with the scent of wet earth after a brief tropical rain. Halfway through dessert, a mango mousse that tasted suspiciously too rich, the shadows around us seemed to deepen, as if life itself was fading from the foliage. I caught movement out of the corner of my eye, a figure slipping behind a palm tree. When I turned, nothing, just the flicker of a distant lamp and the heavy pulse of silence. John reached for my hand, squeezing it. "Happy birthday, Wanderlust," he said, voice soft. And for a moment, all that existed was warmth. His hand in mine, the gentle clink of glass as I lifted mine to him. We slipped back to our villa, where a private plunge pool glowed with submerged lights, water rippling softly in the night breeze. John nudged me in, laughter bubbling around us. The water felt cool and alive. Then, in that light, I saw something far below the surface. A dark blur, elongated, drifting with slow deliberation. At first I thought it a shadow, a tropical fish. But then it seemed too big, too smooth, and it moved with subtle purpose, circling beneath us in the shallow pool. "John," my voice trembled. He looked but said nothing. The blur disappeared just as quickly as it came. I swallowed hard, throat dry, and climbed out of the water. That night in the villa I couldn't sleep. The tropical wind had stilled to nothing, and the air hummed with pressure. I thought I heard a whisper, soft chanting, impossibly distant but unmistakable, an echo in a language I didn't know, drifting through the villa's sliding doors. John lay beside me, breathing steady, eyes dark and vacant in half-sleep. I watched him, heart drumming an anxious rhythm. By morning, doubt had taken root. We left breakfast untouched, as I paced the wooden deck overlooking the ocean. The jungle foliage below seemed darker than it should, every leaf too still, too perfect. Across the cliff face, birds began to stir. Late, flustered, catching my attention with their sudden chorus. Birdsong leaking into the silence like a crack in a dam. I turned and told John everything, about the whispering voices, the blur in the water, the too perfect stillness of the night. He frowned. His face looked older. "Maybe we've been traveling too long," he said. "Maybe it's just imagination." But when I looked back toward the villa, something shifted in the light. A shape lurking behind the palms reflected in the glass door. I blinked. It was gone. I grabbed his hand and we fled down the stairs, through the gardens, toward the exit road. We never stayed to finish our trip. We packed, took a taxi before noon, leaving the resort, and whatever unsettled energy it held, far behind. In the rearview mirror, I imagined I saw figures on the decks, silhouettes standing still, watching us go. But perhaps it was just a trick of light or guilt or fear. On the plane back home, John reached for my hand. I clutched his, trembling. "You're safe," he whispered. We're safe. But neither of us could shake the sense that the resort had watched us, and that somehow we hadn't escaped entirely. This was the trip that bound us in a way words can't explain. Our first love, brushed by beauty and tainted by shadows, reminding us how close paradise and terror can lie next to each other. To this day, when I see orchids or hear night rain, I remember that perfect birthday in Costa Rica, and the thing that watched from just beneath the surface. Thank you for joining me for this chapter of Wanderlust Stories. If this journey sent a chill down your spine, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another tale. And remember, some paradises aren't meant to be found, and some birthdays were never meant to be celebrated. Until next time, wander carefully. This is Wanderlust signing off.